alluded to this just a moment ago, but look at the top of the next page, fee terminology. You need to make sure that you are using consistent fee terminology across the board. Remember, the whole purpose of this Truth in Savings Act is to make sure that people understand things well enough to be able to predict what is going to happen with their account. And if you start mixing and matching fee terms, and maybe what is on your fee schedule doesn't match up with what is on their periodic statement, it generates a lot of confusion and can have some negative impacts for the bank down the road. We'll talk about that in a minute, but take a look at the top of the page, letter A here. How nitpicky will your examiner be on this? And the answer is pretty nitpicky. Look at letter A. An NSF fee is different than insufficient funds fee versus non-sufficient funds fee. So even though in your mind, it may be perfectly clear that those things all mean the same thing, NSF fee versus NSF charge, I've seen all kinds of things. If they don't match up directly, you're getting into some hot water, okay? It's in the eye of the beholder. An examiner could come in and say, yeah, it says NSF fee over here and it says NSF charge over here. And who are you to argue with the government when they come in and tell you something? Now, could an examiner come in and say, that's close enough? That's possible. I've seen it where they go through and they're like, I'm not really worried about that. It's clear enough. But keep in mind, look at what the what it says in italics at the top of page 12 here. It says that they really do have to match up perfectly across the board. So also keep in mind, do what you say what you do. That's kind of that general thing that's out there. And then also you want to say it on your opening disclosures. Those are going to be the same as your periodic statement. And then if you have any change in terms, keep in mind, if you're going to change a fee, make sure you're using those consistent terms across the board here. Also, maintenance fee versus service charge. A lot of times I see disparities between there. And then look at letter C. That's the example that we have here, a 10-cent per check fee versus a 10-cent for every debit fee. Make sure that you understand what your system is doing, because there's a difference between a fee for checks and a fee for all deposits. And there were financial institutions that were getting they did get in trouble for not being really clear on when those fees would apply. If you say that this fee only applies per check, then it should only apply per check. And if you have that fee applying to other debits, then you're going to have a problem. So also, another thing to keep in mind under this A, B, and C here, watch out for your advertising, okay? Now, I know a lot of financial institutions, they don't advertise their fees very often, because that's kind of a low point and it's kind of a downer, and so it doesn't make its way into your advertising very often. But if you are referencing for certain fees, make sure it's consistent there. Now, it isn't a technical requirement. Now, the reg, it just speaks in terms of your opening disclosures, your periodic statement, and those change in terms. But remember, UDAP is in the background here. So if you're talking about fees, it's probably a good idea to be consistent across the board. So when you're reviewing advertising or when you're drafting up advertising, make sure that you're clear on that.